Hi, I'm making this video because tomorrow happens to be March the 14th, which is Pi Day. So we'll talk about pi, what's pi used for, and how can we use Google Sheets to calculate the area of a circle. So first off, when we look at the symbol for pi, we use the Greek symbol pi. And you see all these Greek symbols on here. That's the representation for pi. When we look at what pi is a number. It's represented by 3.14. Instead of using the Greek symbol, we might also refer to pi using the letters pi. So there you have it. The area of a circle can be calculated using this formula. The area is equal to pi r squared. R squared in this case is simply r times r. So it's pi times r times r. And again, r is the radius of a circle. So let's talk a little bit about the radius. The radius in this case is half the distance across the circle versus the diameter, which is the full distance across the circle, versus the circumference, which is the distance around a circle. Pi happens to be the ratio between the circumference and the diameter. So if you measured the circumference of a circle and divided it by the diameter of a circle, you'd come out with this number. Now you might not get it quite to this accuracy, but you should get it to within 3.1 or 3.14. So that is a standard ratio for any circle. So let's talk a little bit about a problem using the formula pi r squared. Okay, so here's the formula. Again, r squared is just simply r times r. So what's the area of a circle with a radius of 5 inches? Okay, using our formula, we'll plug in 3.14 for pi. We've got 5 and 5. This is the radius times the radius, which is r squared. And if you multiply those together, you get 78.5. The units on this are, if we measure it in inches, okay, so r is in inches, the units of area are now inches squared because we've squared the radius. Now, it wouldn't be too difficult to calculate this by hand, but if you have a bunch of problems that your teacher assigned to you, you could use Google Sheets. And that's what we're going to do next. We're going to look at 10 problems where we're going to calculate the area of a circle using our formula, area is equal to pi r squared. So I'm going to switch over to the Google Sheet, and I've already prepared one, and I'm going to erase these because I've already calculated those. So how do we use Google Sheets to do that? Well, I've got three columns here. I've got a problem number, I've got some typical radiuses, and then what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the area of a circle using our formula. Now, to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the cell, and I'm going to type equals, and I want to put in pi 3.14. Now I've got to multiply that times the radius, and I've got to do that twice. So I'm going to use the asterisk key, which represents times. Okay, now if I just click on this cell, which is the radius, and then I multiply it again and click on it again, now I've got 3.14 times the asterisk here, B2 times B2. Okay, B2 happens to be cell B2. Okay, if I hit the enter key, now I've got my 78.5, which I calculated in my previous example. Now, you say, gosh, do I have to type that formula in for every one of these cells? Well, no, you don't. See this little dot right here? If I just hover over that until I get a plus sign, hold my left mouse key down and drag down. Okay, I didn't do it quite far enough. Okay, what it does is it calculates every one of these radiuses, calculates the area for every one of these radii. If I want to change, see how many, I've got 3 decimals. I really don't need 3 decimals. I'm going to use these here. We've got a decrease decimal places and increase decimal, but I'm going to decrease that. So every time I click it, it reduces the number of decimals. Well, I'll reduce it down to 1. I want 1 decimal. Or I could even go to no decimals, and it'll do the rounding for me. Okay. So I think with that we'll stop. Again, just want to repeat the formula is equal sign 3.14 and then an asterisk, which is times, and then the radius in this case is in cell B2 times B2, which is representative of our formula pi times r times r. So hope you understood this. Thanks for listening.